Next up on the call, we have Southern University head football coach Dawson Odums. Southern University defeated Mississippi Valley State this past weekend by a final score of 17-7. This week, they will host Jackson State for a 7 p.m. kickoff. Coach Odums, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Coach. If you could talk about your victory last week over Mississippi Valley and preview Jackson State Saturday.
Well, it was a great win. Anytime you can get a win is always a pleasure. We went down to Mississippi Valley with that on mind. I really think, the guys came out in the first half. We played very well on special teams and defense, and, offense sort of sputtered there. We knew we weren't going to be able to duplicate 62 points, but we came out, made some adjustments in the second half. Drake Joseph to lead Dawson is a combination that everybody probably going to be talking about all year. They hooked up, and next thing you know, we was able to build a 17-0 lead there late into the fourth quarter, and they was able to get a touchdown. So we were happy to get out of there with a W. Jackson State, it's going to be an electrifying environment here. It's a great rivalry between both schools. A lot of passion and tradition at both places, and Coach Cummings always does a great job of getting his football team ready to play every weekend. We're just excited to be at home this year and getting a chance to play in Baton Rouge.
All right, thanks, Coach. The floor is now open for questions. Dawson Odums, head football coach at Southern University.
Coach, it's Reed with the Advocate. How are you doing today?
Doing outstanding, Reed. How you doing?
Doing well, Coach. Look, congratulations on victory. I just wanted to ask you, do you feel like the effect of the atmosphere, did it have any effect on your team? Not many people in the stands. The Southern band wasn't there. Do you think it had any effect on your team in a sluggish kind of play that y'all had? Only 17 points after 62 the week before. Anything like that?
Well, we talked to our team about the kind of environment that we were going to encounter going to Mississippi Valley. We knew a lot of our fans were not going to make that trip, and me being here, I think that helps me knowing that I've been to Valley before. It's just an eerie feeling. No music during warm-ups. It's not that high-rise kind of stadium like some of the other teams have in the conference. It's just you have to block all those things out and really motivate yourself to go play football.
Coach James Verrett, I'll be calling your game this weekend. How you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Do you think that you have 3 running backs that you can use at any given time this week?
Yeah, I believe that. Darius Coleman, Leonard Tillery, and Colin Favorite. The freshman had some fumble issues early. He protected the football, and he held on to it with everything Saturday. So it's just great to see him be aware of what's going on around him and really protect the football. So I really think we got 3 running backs that we can interchange throughout the course of a football game, and it's just exciting to see those guys have some production.
Coach, the last 2 weeks that you've played, you've had the emotional chip on your shoulder to prove to a team that beat you the previous year that you are a better team. Now this is the first time this season you're going up against a team that you beat the previous season. What kind of emotion should you expect to see from your team this week?
Well, you at home. Anytime you get a chance to play at home in the SWAC, you gotta defend your home turf. And I don't think guys need no emotional lift. I mean, Jackson State is one of the better football teams in our conference. It's not one of the better football teams in the country. Knowing Coach Cumbergee, knowing from his Tuskegee days, and now at Jackson State, they were just in the championship last year. And he's going to do a great job of getting a football team prepared to come in here to play. And if we're not ready, they'll leave out of here with a victory. So we got to make sure that we understand what we got to get done and pay attention and focus on what we got to get done and make sure we go out and play hard.
Coach, it's Reed again. Every game on the schedule is a big game. You talk about that. But is this game extra important for your team and for the program, coming off where y'all were after Northwestern, getting 2 SWAC victories? If y'all can go into the bye 3-0, how big would that be for your team and football program?
Well, it's a big game because it's the one that we're playing, man, and we try to address that with our players. And we understand, man. There's a lot of bragging rights. There's a lot on the table. This is the kind of football game I think recruits choose Jackson State and recruits choose Southern because they get a chance to play in that electrifying atmosphere. We understand what's at stake. We just got to take care of business and focus up and get ourselves ready to play the best football game that we can play because it's going to take everything we got and then some to defeat the guys.
Coach, when you look at Jackson State on film offensively, are they a better running team or passing team in your estimation?
Well, I think they have some very good receivers. Number one, I believe, is Singleton, and number 82 is coming into his own. I mean, they have some guys that can make plays in the passing game. Number 7 is a quarterback that it seems like it's hard to get your hands on him, and then they can run the football. So they're pretty much a balanced football team, and when you look at them, you can see them starting to do some things in that running game that make you say, you better put your mouthpiece in because you got to go to work. And that physical presence in their running game is what, stands out. They got some big backs and a big offensive line, and, you got to be ready to defend sideline to sideline and end zone to end zone with these guys because they can stretch you defensively.
Coach, can you talk about your defensive performance on Saturday? I know as a defensive guy, you were kind of disgruntled, giving up all those points in the first 3 games, but the defense held in strong and nearly pitched a shutout there Saturday. Can you talk about how pleased you are with their play on Saturday?
Well, I just think as coaches every week we just try to get better, and we just try to figure out what our guys can do and play to their strength. It's just good to be able to see guys go out and execute. You know what kind of talent you have. You got to get them lined up, and you just have to make sure you put them in position. And the difference is they were in position and they made plays, and that's what it boils down to. Just lining guys up and executing, and we did a great job of executing on Saturday.
What's the status on Virgil Williams, Coach?
He should be back ready to go. I believe this week we'll get more on it. Got an update this morning that says he go see the doctor today, but I look for him to be 100% and ready to go on Saturday.
Can you talk about what Deontay McDuffie brings to your defense? He's slowly getting back in the fold, slowly getting back more reps in the game. Can you talk about how excited you are to see him back there and what he brings to the defense?
Well, he's the guy that's a physical presence in the secondary. He comes off the edge at safety, and we got to get him to wrap up. You ain't gonna always knock people off your feet, but he comes downhill with bad intentions, and he don't mind sticking his face in there. With all these rule changes with targeting and all this stuff, it's hard to be a intimidating defense because that's one of the things that I think great defenses possess is that when you look at them on film, you see folks get knocked out their shoes, and you sort of take that away with some of the new rules. But we try to get our guys to understand, let's play within the rules, but you are what you put on film, and what he puts on film is that he will hit you.
Coach, when you look back on practice last week, what do you think that you changed to cause your team not to have nearly as many penalties as they had the first few games of the season?
Well, it's really, I always talk about discipline, and the first 2 games we were in double digits, and that's not who we are. So we had to go back to the drawing board and address those issues. And the last 2 games, I think we were at 5 2 weeks ago, and then this past game we was at 3 against Valley. So I just believe that if you can just play smart football, and you're gonna have a chance to be in football games, and you shoot yourself in the foot when you make foolish penalties. And we really harp on those things, and they have consequences, and we make sure that we try to play clean football.
Coach, the mantra, no negativity. Since I've been talking to you, that's all you told me that a lot. That's the motto of your team. Why is that y'all's calling card, and why do you choose that as y'all's calling card, basically?
Well, anytime you're dealing with a team sport, it's a lot of moving components. It's a lot of parts that got to work together, and you can't have anything negative working against you, man. It's too much to be happy about, too much to be positive about, than to focus on the negativity of things. You're going to be in adversity in the football game. You're going to get down. You're not going to convert on 3rd down. You're not going to always get off the field on 3rd down. But just being positive and just hearing somebody when you come off the field, say, don't worry about it, man. We go get the next one, play the next play. Hey, we coming back to you. Those things feed, and then you start getting some momentum, and you start believing in that positivity. And it not only affects you on the field, but it also affects you off the field. Sitting in the first 3 rows in the classroom, being on time to class, all that's positivity. And if you really want to be a good program and not just a good football team, it starts with being positive.
Any more questions for Dawson Odums, head football coach at Southern University?
Hi, Coach. This is Roz Dumla with the Clarion Ledger in Jackson. I was interested in seeing what your thoughts were on the matchup between Lee Dawes and JSU cornerback Quay Cox. How does Lee prepare for a guy like Quay Cox?
Well, I really think it's two of the better football players on either side of the ball in our conference. And, you know, when they match up, you know, I think it's going to be exciting to see. You know, how much they match up, I don't know, but I know Cox is probably one of the better defensive backs in our conference, and Lee Dawson is certainly one of the better wide receivers. So to see them guys get a chance to go at it, I think it'll be an anticipated matchup that everybody will have their eyes on.
Thank you.
Coach, do you have an injury update on Donald Phillips?
No. The last time I checked, he's still out and probably won't get him back to after the bye week.